In this video, we're going to deep clean the Davinci IQ, and we're going to focus on the Satan's anus, which is that particularly hard to clean area directly underneath the bowl where it connects to the little flavor chamber. It's a real pain in the ass, and I'll show you a special trick that makes it pretty easy in this video.
What you kids know about the 420 vape every day I
What's up,
wake
guys?
up
It's
and I
Troy
get
from
stoned.
420vidzone.com. I was about to do my 2-year Davinci IQ review because I've had this device for more than 2 years. Can you believe it's been? So this video is actually from 2019, and then it was deleted from YouTube when YouTube deleted me for the second time in December of 2020. Initially, I was going to leave this video down and kind of forgotten. I was going to just ignore it. But when I was in Vegas last week, I met with Davinci, and they actually requested that I put this video back online because they were saying that it actually helps out quite a bit. And again, this is their preferred method of cleaning the Davinci IQ and the IQ-C because the vapor chamber, the Satan's anus side of the vaporizer is separated by a metal divider from the battery and electronics. So isopropyl alcohol should not be able to get over to the other side unless it's going from the two ends. So if you do this properly, you should be able to clean the Satan's anus without fucking up your vape. Still works great. Still one of the best tasting conduction devices. Still a lovely little device to carry. And this isn't my review, but Cliff's Notes. I still love it. What I'm going to do in this video is finish my intro. I'm from 420vidzone.com. I review dry herb vapes and other cannabis products. Encourage you to like and subscribe. YouTube tends to shuffle cannabis content directly under the rug, and someday I may not be here anymore, so please follow me on Instagram and my website, 420vidzone.com. Saying that a few times for branding purposes. Also, I'm very high, and I can't recall if I said that before. This video is completely unplanned, unscripted. Usually I have a bunch of post-it notes that I start with, but in this video, I was basically sitting down to write out and plan out my Davinci IQ 2-year review because, whoo, that's warm, because it's been more than 2 years now and I need to do a 2-year update review. And I realized that in my 1-year review video that I made, I'm going to set my battery to the side. This is the first thing you do, is take your battery out and put it far away. For this cleaning project, you want the battery to be gone. Close your latch. Pardon the instructions. The Cliff's Notes of this version, if you're just looking to clean Satan's anus, and you don't want to watch me do my stoner routine here, take the battery out, take the flavor chamber out, empty the bowl, put your pinky in the flavor chamber where the flavor chamber used to be, spray some alcohol in there, plug the bowl with your other finger, shake your booty, rinse, repeat, keep doing that, and it'll dissolve whatever is stuck underneath your bowl in that gasket. You may have to use a pick to break it up, but the alcohol will dissolve it, and you can spray alcohol in the body of the device and just shake and just drain it out onto some paper towels, and it works wonders. Another method that I literally just thought of now, if you don't want to do the whole finger in the anus to plug it up and fill it up and shake it up and worry about slippage and spilling alcohol all over yourself or all over your vape, you can just take a cotton ball, and from the flavor chamber side, I don't have the vape in front of me, oh, unprofessional, I apologize. From the flavor chamber side, take a cotton ball and stick it down in there and poke it in there with like a needle or whatever, and then spray your alcohol in there. The alcohol, the cotton ball will saturate and soak up that alcohol and stay. It'll keep alcohol on Satan's anus, which is that silicone grommet, long enough for it to soften and for you to pick and clean it out with a Q-tip afterwards. It's going to involve some work. Like this process is going to involve some work. The trick is getting alcohol to help you for several minutes at a time. Like, you don't want the alcohol just to drip straight through. You need to keep the alcohol in there for minutes to work. And it's minutes, not hours, because that silicone grommet, you don't want that thing to degrade. So I got the flavor chamber out. And if you're going to do a deep clean, get a little container or a little dish. I usually don't really clean the flavor chamber. Like, you don't need details on how to clean the flavor chamber, but just for purposes, I'm going to put it in a little dish, and that's where I would clean it if I was going to clean it. And you want to empty your bowl of weed. You don't. What is that? So typically, when you're cleaning your Davinci IQ, you're gonna have a handful of Q-tips handy, and these little alcohol wipes. These little alcohol wipes work wonders on so many vapes. If you just need a quick wipe down, you can pull these things out. You can really get in there. Ooh, that little bead is hot. The little bead is hot. Did not plan this video all that well. These little alcohol wipes can really do some wonders pretty quickly. Just get in there and scrubbing that bowl down, popping that little thing out. And there, within like a second, the bowl portion is very clean. I'll pop the mouthpiece out and drop it in there and pretend that I'm gonna soak that in alcohol. If I was really doing this, I would have that soaking with alcohol, but I'm not right now. But for the sake of the video, pretend that that's soaking with alcohol and we're doing a full deep clean. This is where the fun part begins. So with your smallest finger, mine is my pinky. The bowl is a little bit hot. Don't do it with a hot bowl. Well, if you have a little cork or something, you can use a little cork. If you have a cork that'll fit in there. Fucking hell, I do. I have a little cork. This little cork came from my sticky brick. I believe it's from the Hydro Brick Max. Fits in there perfectly, clogs the bowl. So now no alcohol will leak out. I'm just gonna take this alcohol into the flavor chamber hole, or where the flavor chamber would go. Just a couple squirts, not a lot, just a couple. And then with whatever finger fits in this hole, which is also your pinky. See, I got both holes plugged. I'm shaking. So the gap between the bottom of that bowl and where the little flavor chamber is, there's a little silicone grommet. That little grommet just gets caked with reclaim and tar and whatever the things that happen in that spot. And eventually it builds up and it gets kind of stinky and sticky, and you can actually taste it. So if you vape so many bowls in your Davinci IQ that you load nice fresh green and it still kind of smells and tastes like a spent bowl, even if it's not a spent bowl, chances are that this little grommet section, the Satan's anus, as people call it, of the Davinci IQ, is clogged and filled with the nasty, and it's time to do some maintenance on it. I tend to do this about every 6 or 8 months, maybe every year. Not all that often, to be honest. Like I don't find it to be as big of a problem as some people have complained about it to be. But I also don't use a super fine grind. If you use a super fine grind, you're gonna make a bigger mess of your Davinci IQ. A bigger mess. You don't want a bigger mess. So right now I'm just getting in there with some Q-tips, squeaking it around. It's still very dirty, but it's gonna get dissolved by all that alcohol. So very dirty. Put a clean end in there. Poking it down. There's a grommet in there, and I can feel the Q-tip going inside of it. A lot of it is sticking to it, which is good. We want that stuff to come out. I'm gonna pull the cork out and just see what it looks like underneath the bowl. So I can see there's already, it's a little more clear now with where light's coming through the bowl. So there's less things up in there. I'm gonna go ahead and give it another flush with the alcohol. Stuff the cork down in there. Give it a couple squirts of alcohol. This is 91% alcohol, and the little spray bottle is so handy when it comes to cleaning vapes. Oh, so handy. So now, even with the alcohol still in there, I can put a Q-tip down in there and scrub, work the alcohol in. I don't want it to be in there for too long, just long enough to kind of get some cleaning done, kind of break it up and plunge it, work it in there. I'm going to dump this alcohol out. It's a nasty job, but somebody's got to do it. Get in there with some clean, dry Q-tips now. Surprisingly clean. Surprisingly clean. Doing this the manual way, which I've done before and it sucks, with just dipping the Q-tips in alcohol, I probably went through 50 Q-tips and it was still coming out dirty. Still coming out dirty. So that's pretty clean. That's pretty clean. It's not factory fresh. Fuck, did I put this cork in too far? Uh-oh. Yikes. Gotta be careful with those corks. Gotta be careful with those corks. If anyone's curious where I picked up this technique, I was actually shown this technique from someone within Davinci directly. I was actually at their headquarters and someone from within showed me this technique as their recommended method. So as scary as it looks, this is actually how it's done. You may have to repeat this a couple times as necessary, depending on how clean you want to get your device. I am not too picky with mine, but I know some people like to get their device looking spick and span and back to factory. You can get this back to factory, but it's going to be some work. You're going to go through some Q-tips. What's leaking? Okay, so Q-tips are coming out clean from Satan's anus now. I'm saying it's clean enough for me. I'm going to take one last Q-tip with alcohol soaked, just go around all of the seams just to get any little bits of grime, ABV, reclaim out of those little lines. Just kind of give the device a little detailing, make it look as good as possible again on both ends. You can do the same with the little LEDs. If you use a toothbrush, you can clean these LEDs out. I was mistaken in my original review saying that they were dead, that the LEDs were not working, but it turns out that they were just caked with filth, some sort of pocket filth that had clogged up the holes and blocked out the light. That's some serious filth right there. Very good, very good. Nice and clean, nice and clean. Do the same thing with the flavor chamber and the mouthpiece. Wipe those down with alcohol. Put the battery back in. Let this thing dry for 30 minutes or so. Just because you get alcohol in there, up in that anus, and that the air going through the anus is going directly into your lungs, and you don't want any alcohol fumes. So let it evaporate. Make sure that it gets plenty dry. And when you vape on it again, it'll be like new, I promise. I'm high. That's awesome. This is fun. I only used about 10 or 11 Q-tips. I probably could have done a little bit better if I'd have been a little more thorough with my shaking and my scrubbing. The first 3 Q-tips are really the ones that count. That's it. That's how you deep clean your Davinci IQ. Pretty simple. It's a pretty simple device to maintain. I hope you enjoy it. Links in the description for Davinci if you need to replace any parts or if you want to pick up the Davinci. There's also a link in my description for the current review, whether it's a 2-year review or maybe a 3-year review or 10-year review. I can't imagine this thing in 10 years. See ya. Thanks for watching. In case it's not obvious, because I'm a slacker, the flavor chamber and the mouthpiece, you want to clean those with alcohol. You want to detail those too. I just assumed you already knew that, so I didn't include all that stuff. But that's what I'm doing right now, so I can finish my project here.